Hi gentlemen, this is Mr. Holding here, and this video is quickly going through the Year 7 chemistry assignment on based on the experiment soluble or insoluble. And so basically what I'm going to do now is just run you through your task sheet. Now, for science, for many of you, this will be the first time you've done this, so it's important that you actually go through this carefully, all right, because there's some information here that's very, very important. So for starters, you can look at the top, a brief description of the task, okay? And in this case, it's an experimental investigation, all right? And what that means is we're actually going to do an experiment to look at a particular claim, what we call an aim, and then answer. Okay, in this case, we're going to look at what's soluble and what's not soluble in water as well as alcohol. Okay, next one, the genre is a scientific report. Okay, it's important that you understand what that is and what that entails, because we need to write it in a specific way. Okay, so I'm going to go through that as well and clarify that for you. The next thing here is the subject matter and task instruction. Okay, so subject matter. Water is the most valuable resource. It is essential for life and is important chemically because of the unique properties it has, such as the ability for water to be treated to dissolve or remove chemical substances from it. Okay, so that's the background information. That's the subject matter. Now your task. You will be required to investigate the solubility of different substances, drawing scientifically to demonstrate the experimental design, and recording results in an appropriate format. So that is what you're actually required to do. All right, so the subject matter is this section. Obviously the task itself is here. Now you can see down the left hand side here is some dates with regards to some information with regards to dates and things. So it's semester 1, term 1, 2018. The unit is the chemistry of water. You'll be given, it's blank there because each class is going to be slightly different. All right, we'll all do it at roughly the same time, but your teacher will clarify that, and the same thing with the due date. Okay, so it'll be roughly the end of week 7, and your class teacher will confirm that. You know, because we all have classes on different days, it'll be slightly different for everybody. Okay, but you'll notice here it's by 3:10. For most classes, you will need to bring it the day of. Okay, common curricular elements: compile, investigate, and explain. Your teacher will go through that with you. Okay, here's some more in-depth information about what you've got to do. Okay, telling you what to do. You conduct a scientific investigation, collect data, and interpret the results to formulate reasons, conclusions about the properties of water and the methods used to minimize human impact on water sources. That's sort of the background of what we're doing. Your audience is like-minded students who have to have an understanding of basic chemistry. Now, the important part of that is what that allows you to do is to show that to your peers or show that to mum and dad and say, hey, mum, dad, hey, Jimmy, whatever, can you please have a read of this and tell me if it makes sense? Okay, if your mum and dad can't read it and can't understand what you're saying, then I'd be suggesting you need to have a look at that, okay, and think, well, do I need to reword something here? All right, some more information in here, and then here are the steps that we're going to do. Now, the key thing is there are 5 in-class lessons that we are going to do it, and then in most cases, certainly in my classes, you will be required to finish all of this in class. So there actually won't be much, if any, work for you to do at home, provided you work productively in your classroom time, okay, because you've got 5 things. So the first one, establish a suitable hypothesis and identify what variables. Okay, now I'll do a video on that to assist you with that, and then we'll do that in class. Step 2, draw a scientific diagram of how the experiment would be set up. Again, I'm going to assist you with that. I'll do up a video, and you'll have a whole lesson to do that. Step 3, draw an appropriate table to record your results. Again, there'll be another video and a link, and you've got a lesson to do that. And then step 4, conduct the experiment, recording your results in the result table. Okay, you'll notice there's a lot of work going in before we even get to the experiment. Now, that's fairly typical. Experiments are fun, they're exciting, they're great to do, but the important thing is we need to know why we're doing them. We need to set them up so that they can be successful and that we can get the information that we want from them. Okay, so that's why we're not doing the experiment till step 4 down here. And then finally, step 5, using the results in the table, complete the discussion questions. All right, and you'll have a lesson to do that. And at the end of the lesson, that's when you hand it in. So you can see here that as long as you keep yourself organised and you work to capacity during the lesson, you shouldn't have many, if at all, any homework with regards to this. All right, there's a authentication statement. You read that and fill that out, stating it's all your work. The college assessment and drafting policy. And then here is our marking criteria. Now, I'm not going to go through that now. Your teacher will go through that in class, right? But it's important that you read through these, because if you want an A, you can look here on this side here. Okay, it's this way. I'll do it this way. So these are the A standards for each of the criteria. Okay, so if you want to know how to get an A for planning and conducting, you read these two things here and make sure that your work reflects those two things. All right, here is your task. All right, and we'll go through this: the hypothesis, materials, variables down the bottom. Okay, you've been given the method here. Okay, here is where we're going to do our scientific diagram, and I'll do a video explaining how to do a scientific diagram, how to label it, how to do it neat and tidy. Make sure you write the title underneath in the figure section here. This is where we're going to view the space we're going to use for our table. All right, if we're going to do an experiment, we need to make sure that we record our results. And then finally, your discussion questions here. So your discussion questions, basically, you need to get your results and then analyze them to be able to answer these questions and come up with conclusions. Okay, so as I said, there'll be some follow-up videos about this, but hopefully that gives you an overview with regards to what your task is going to be for this assignment. I hope you found this useful.